Hello, this is a skull game played even with 7.5 Komi where white won by 44 points, so quite a large margin. And that's because of building a huge top left area and a very big bottom side against one big box that black got in the top right and a tiny corner which compensates the Komi. So without even counting, it's clear that white won this game pretty large, and it was kind of peaceful, even though it started with a diagonal Fuseki. So let's check it out. So this is the cross Fuseki, black takes a Shimari, white could do the same, but it's good to prevent the second Shimari. I mean, in this case, it's not a big deal to play R6, because when you have 7.5 Komi, you can just play calm. So if black makes another Shimari, it can be E3 or F3, white will go for the second one. So it's a battle of corner enclosures, but it's much more natural to attack black's corner. White can also do it with a low approach, because when black defends d5, white doesn't always have to extend right away at h3. So here white can make a Shimari either in the top left or in the lower right. Actually, I would take the one in the lower right because black wants to extend around r10, so it stops the expansion towards the lower right corner after that, but we will get there in a moment. So white played the high approach, which is fine too. Black attaches, obviously, the classic way to take the corner, hanging connection, and black plays the middle side extension on the right side. It's a big point, but not that urgent yet. I mean, normally black is supposed to finish up the Joseki on the left and then approach the lower right corner all the way to r5, or it can be r6 in this case. But if black wants to speed up a little bit the Fuseki, black can play q5 or r5, and only after white defends here, he should extend back to r9 or q10. So this way, it's going to set up a big moy on the right side. Now when this move is played, so obviously black is focusing more on the sides than the corners. White can make a Shimari at r6, so this prevents black's approach next to r7. I think white did a Shimari at r5, yeah. This r5 leaves the O game at r7 to complete the territory or the moy on the right side. Therefore, in this case, it's more interesting to play r6, because when black plays r8, it's going to be over concentrated. So maybe he's reluctant to do it too early. Anyway, at this stage, black really wants to get another extension, so to set up the double wing formation, which means that white can also play a move like k16 to prevent that happening, but in that case, black will approach the corner r5 or q5. So it's a good idea for white to take the Shimari at r5, but it's slightly better in this case to play r6, but it's still very sensitive. That's just because you don't want your opponent to have a very nice move to follow up here on the right side. So this move allows r7, but black right now will go for the top side. So when this happens, white can play r8, but for white it's also interesting to consider the Shimari in the top left corner, which happened in the game. This one leaves g17 or f17 as an approach for black to expand the moyo and limit white's development. But right now, black should finish the Joseki at d6, then white can play something like l4 or l3, because when white ends up the Joseki here, this extension is also good relationship with the Shimari. But anyway, black is busy with his moy on the right side, so he's playing r7. Now when black plays this extension, white can still go l3 or l4 to finish the Joseki on the bottom and complete the moyo. I mean, this is already a battle of moyos, but white played aggressive on the left side, and this is fine because this is the kind of move you want to play to punish your opponent for not finishing the Joseki. And there's another one that white can consider here, which is d6. Now oftentimes when white plays d6, black can tenuki, or he simply plays a slide to secure the corner. If black plays a tenuki here, then immediately after you go for a sente forci move, and then you play another big point. But the attach is also a nice way to punish, and most of the time black will just hane under, then you block on top, you push, and you go nobi. So you get a very nice wall on the towards the center. So you press black down a little bit. That's the way to punish for not finishing the Joseki. But black wants to fight, so obviously he will push and cut, which is all forced. And here, white has a better way to deal with this extension. Normally just extend down, I mean Sagari, or descend. Black will block the corner, otherwise he can die. Then you can extend 2 space jump instead of 1 space jump. Now when black extends towards the right, you also extended k4. And k4 is the right extension to work with your Shimari in the lower right corner. Then when black plays other moves here to fix his group, so be it. You can play somewhere else, like a big point here. So now this is quite a normal development on the left side, but white played a jump, so things can be different. Now on this move b5, you may wonder what happens if black tries to surround these 3 stones, but white has plenty of liberties, so white can just push in the corner, then use the clamp at b2, and that's a problem for black, because when black plays c2 and white Atari, black doesn't have so many liberties to fight the semi here, so black is going to die. Now if black plays Hane, white can kill in a very easy way, just c2 and then Hane e2, and now there are only a couple liberties, so when push Atari and Atari, so it's finished. Then if black goes down, white can push here, push again, and then block in the corner. Now if white plays this move and black turns, when white Hane to reduce the liberties, black can try Atari and Atari again to set up a ko. But anyway, being the early stage of the game, white will just clear this ko. But white can actually win this MA without ko by playing a2. Because now when black removes liberties, white comes from the outside, Atari and Atari again, and that's it. So black dies in the corner. That's why when white goes down, black should protect the corner at b4, then white can jump and jump further. Also, if black plays a move here, for example, trying to attack the 4 stones, white has to follow up to play c2 in center, then Hane, and after that Hane here, threatening to kill the corner. So moves like this are center for white. Black needs to secure the corner, and it's much easier to fix the I shape on the bottom after that, but also white can jump out, then counter attack. So it's easy for white to fight here in that kind of cut. So good to remember, descend b4 and extend c8. Now black push from behind, and in this case white is happy to build the territory on the 4th line. And this is a little bit greedy. The shape point is still k4. It's good enough to extend on the 4th line. The reason is this group in the middle for black is going to fix anyway. So if black plays another move like Keima, it's fine. So white needs to defend the left side either with a 1 space jump or a 2 space jump, and then black can enter the bottom side. So once you have k4 in place, it's much easier to fight around here. But if you have this Keima and black does the same thing, so Keima to fix the center, then it's much easier for black to come inside. For example, with this L3, you need to play another move and black extends for a base. So you end up over concentrated because of this J5. But black jumps in the center. Anyway, now the next important move for white is to catch M4, and the border will complete very nice like this. I think it's gonna happen. Yeah, this turn is good. It's a powerful move, threatening the 3 stones, so black just got over concentrated, but it's really urgent to play a move like M4. Yeah, this one is center. Black has to leave in the corner, that's okay. And now white is looking for a reducing move. This is somewhat interesting, and not in a bad way, because with this move, white wants to erase the top by jumping m16 or jump on the side around q13. So there are 2 directions to go down, the right side and the top side. But it's probably more interesting to look for a move like, let's say, something around O14, because it seems to put more pressure on that Moyo. So when black defends, it's easier to invade the top with Tatsuke here. Also, when black defends the top, it's easy to invade the right side like this. But there are several invasion points for white here. For example, R12 or Tsuke R15. Usually when this Tsuke is played, black and Hane descend, go out, but then white will just slide and leave inside. So it's easy to fix a group on the right side and break that Moyo. Now another way for white to consider a way to reduce, it's P15. then attach, cross cut, Atari from the outside, Atari again, and then some shoulder hit against the top stone. So this is a way to make sabaki in the moyo. If black responds here to keep the top connected, then white will push, block, and extend. So another way to fix very lightly on the right side. So you can consider this kind of cap move to reduce, because normally when you play a move like m4, black can play p15, or black can play a fancy move like o14 to expand the moyo, but black can also go in the top, g17, and then white still has time to approach with this or the cap or some invasions. Now also when r15 is played, black can play a bit more aggressive r13, but it's not a problem. You have the hane, then the bump. This bump is a very good tactic to know, because when black goes down, you hane here, and then it's easy to make I shape and run out. And if black resists with the nobi, then you just Atari and capture the two stones. So you leave in the corner. That's why the bump prepares this capture. If you try to capture right away, Atari and push, black will turn, and that's it. So obviously you need a stone at r14 first, and r14, it's also a move that prepares the hane for I shape and escape towards the middle. So that's another pretty common follow-up in the top right corner. Anyway, n13, it's some sort of cautious move. I mean, obviously white wants to reduce the moyo, but he doesn't want to be trapped inside. So black answered. For black, it's interesting to keep the right side, either q13 or p13, because I mean it's just natural to try to build a little more here. Then when white gets into the top, black can extend to the left, and those two white stones are still pretty thin. Playing this move seems a little bit greedy because it leaves this kind of poke. So for black, normally the top side should be safer if n16. Now if white goes on the right, black should just complete the top. So white jumps in. Maybe that's a little bit deep. It's good enough to play on just 2 space jump to be more connected to your stones. Of course, black will try probably a tsuke like this or a tsuke like this, but it's okay to fight. If something like this happens, Atari, push again, then black has to pay attention how we fight here. Tsuke like this. You can push everything down, but that's going to be a sacrifice, and then try to catch these two stones on the side. Or maybe you don't hane one way or another, you just play a tsuke first to see whether black will go up or down, and then play the hane. Yeah, this is a better way, because now you can just Atari, push, black needs to protect, then you connect on the outside, and this will hurt the n15 stone. And if black cuts here, you just push down, and now you can hurt the corner. So it's easy to make a sabaki on the right side after a 2 space jump. But with this move, maybe white is looking for a way to live inside. But in this case, it's good to consider r12, because when black plays a pincer, you jump out and you connect to your n13. If black plays just a block like this, then you play another move for base. And when black tries to surround, you play slide and extend to make a base inside and erase all that moyo. So let's see how black attacks. Probably jump, yeah, separate. But for black, it's interesting to block here, let white connect, then play a peep, white hits heavy, and then attack the whole thing. So as long as white hits running out, black is going to profit either on both on the right and in the top, actually, because eventually black will get this point to increase the moyo. But right now, jump, hane. Oh, and this way, black also gets moves in the middle to be able to reduce the left side. So black separates, that makes sense too. White tries to leave under, but here black missed the Tesuji, which is S12. If white tries to connect, black pushes, cuts, and then push under and cut again. Now, white has too many problems. So on this move, white has to give up the stone, like this. If the ladder works, it's possible to cut, otherwise turn, but white has to play here, then cut, white covers, then black has to fly out also. So with this move, white can live under and it feels comfortable. The pip is powerful, but it's big for black to connect here. Then white has to struggle more to live inside. This pip, white can sacrifice one stone. So the right move to do to follow up or to fight is to attach here. When black cuts, you cut, you prepare a double Atari, black has to extend, then you catch this stone. If black connects here, you just connect. Playing the Nobi, I mean the turn, it's too obvious what you want to do next, so black can Nobi here. Then bump, connect, defend, then you have a problem with the group. So maybe it's still not okay to connect S13 yet, but to jump. Now this jump can give you life on the right side, because if black blocks, you can push and cut, so the fight is good. But black will probably play here, then you gotta crawl and leave, and now black can cut that stone. So in the end, it wasn't such a big reducing, and black can still keep most of the moyo. Or well, a big potential there. But black cuts right away, and this is good for white. White can turn, then push, oh la la, and even Hane. So black should Nobi again here. And then white will probably try to catch this stone on the right side, either with this combination, Cap and Keima, or Kosumi, or attach. But like this, it's very good for white to Hane in the head of two stones. He's threatening Atari. Also an Atari here would be nice, because when black connects, and he's probably going to connect because he wants to stress the cutting point, the shape is terrible. It's looks like a potato formation or a dumpling. So, and now white can connect elegant here, and it already seems like game over. Ah yeah, back to this large point. M4 is very good in relationship with J5. So black defends first. Now white has time to connect. It's okay to play the hanging connection here. Also it works to play this move, because the hanging connection, it's a defense against the cut, and in the meantime puts pressure on this tiny stone on the right side. With this move, it's probably the same plan, but it still leaves a cutting point. That doesn't work right now because the ladder is good, but never know later. So black is approaching the cut, and white plays a large point. Good idea. Normally the proper move is just connect here, but h17 is really big. Black blocks, very good. If he doesn't, white will slide. Then white extends on the left side. This seems a little bit greedy. It's good enough to extend d11 or d12. You want to have this kind of shapes on the fourth line in general, and from these two stones you extend 3 spaces away. So it's nice, and it's also an O gamer from the other stone. So the relationship is excellent, because once you go a little bit higher, these two stones, they don't have such a good relationship anymore. Black can come inside with a shoulder hit. If you push here, he jumps, and then he disrupts the connection between them. Also, if you don't catch those stones inside, you're going to lose more territory, so it's better to play one line lower, because fourth line anyway is the line of victory, and build safe, than to go up on the fifth line and then maybe lose some territory. I mean, if something like this happens, in the end, your E11 is just going to be less than expected. But another way for white here is to play Keima, because this is threatening the group in the middle. So when black pushes, you play a one space jump, in black plays wedge, and so on. Then you're attacking this group in the center, and the territory comes very natural on the left side. Then you build even bigger than fifth line. But still, it's not necessary, especially in a position where you're so much ahead. I mean, black has this box in the top right, but it's like 40 points roughly. Then a tiny group here, and the Komi group in the corner, because this is like 7 points. So having like 40 points here, then 15-20 points here, this is like 55. If you make another 40-50 on the left side, it's close to 100. So you don't need to play too active or too greedy. Okay, black is trying hard to reduce here. Nobi is good, because it threatens push and cut and so on. So black has to play here, then you get the 3 stones. So this is compensation for losing the 2 stones in the middle. Also, it's not bad to jump like this. This is a nice spot, because it ruins black's moyo, so it makes the 2 stones, the catch in the center, way smaller. So black came out to come inside. White attach. White should actually jump again to threaten to save those stones. Black might add another move here, and now it's really small. Then how to protect this area? Tsuke, Hane, block, bump, connect. But black also has nice moves to connect, so. But overall, white is doing well. So Tsuke. Black had to play the Hane. White is not going to cut because of Atari and connect, so now the top will suffer. Hane first, white pulls back, bump, white pulls back, and then protect against the cut, but in a pretty nice shape. So this is just good for white. Hane in the head of two stones because it creates Atari and so on. But you shouldn't start with Atari, it's too obvious. You better play a move like Tsuke, because if black wants to cut, then double Atari, and if black plays Hane, you simply connect, and now you have Atari, Atari, and so on. So black has to pull back, and here monkey jump. The monkey jump should be played quite early, because obviously black wants this box, so you should reduce it a little bit in center. This monkey jump, it's an 8-point center sequence. So Atari, oh, he gave the two stones. Okay, he didn't have to. And white doesn't have to take them. They are only 4 or 5 points. It's too small right now. Better push here. So play the monkey jump first in center. Then play the Nobi because of the push and cut and so on. Black might answer like this or a bamboo. Then catch these 3 stones. I mean, these 3 stones, they are 6 points plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So close to 20 points is this capture. Also these points around here. So it's more interesting to take 20 points than only 4 or 5. Especially then this capture is complete gote for white. So black saved the bottom. Even he did it in center. That was a little bit dangerous. But now everything worked out fine. This is proper. This is fine. All center for black. But it doesn't matter. Kosumi here. Monkey jump in center. It can also be this follow-up. Then what else? Then this block. It's just elegant. Yeah, now it's done. I think the score will be pretty much the same. And this is big too. But you should really take the monkey jump in the top. Playing the block here. Black Hane, white Nobi. This is gote. And if white doesn't play anything here. So let's say white plays monkey jump. Black jumps here. White blocks. Black pulls back. Then you jump again in the top. Osumi, for example, and another monkey jump. So it's a lot of erasing in the top. Those stones are connected, by the way. So block, keep everything safe. Black got J18, so no more monkey jump. This P4 is very good. That's a center. Good reducing here. And it's done. Here white can play the block like this with Ko to create some edges. So when black blocks here, you block again, he takes the Ko. You gotta find the Ko thread, for example Atari here, take back, and never know, he might panic a little bit, but actually he shouldn't. He can play away. Oops. Yeah, well, you can block with Ko, but it's not really necessary. The connection is fine too. It's just looking fancy. Okay. Must pay attention, so don't connect T12. That's a good idea. Instead of Hane here, you better play the Hane on the bottom, because this prevents F1 in center, so it's going to save 2 points here. Black could always play Hane F1 in center. This one doesn't prevent a center on the left side, because if you play Hane block connect and black plays Hane block connect, you don't have to play another move on the left side. So that's going to be 2 points gote. So now you took the 2 points gote and black took the 2 points center. Should be the other way around. So okay. Yeah, this Atari should be white. This is a neutral point. Anyway, white needs to play another move inside that R9, so you better play Atari here. If black plays a neutral point like this, you answer, because you need to defend anyway, then black has to come back and protect 1 point. So black played inside, white plays safe. Now the final call. This is not necessary. you can just say pass instead, because if you just play pass and black comes out, you just ladder him down. But let's see if there are more cut threats. So for example, Atari here, black takes, you capture. If black comes out, then you answer. Black captures, you play a local threat, he needs to go out, you take. Black goes down, you gotta answer, he takes. Where else? Black is kinda thick everywhere. There is one more threat here locally, then take. But you also got Atari, for example, or go down again. Yeah, I mean, either way, he has another threat. He has this Atari. So yeah, this is going to be black co, but white doesn't have to play -1 point. I mean, just say pass, let him have the co, he feels, and you count. I mean, this way you say 1 point, so you win by 45.5. Anyway, well done, big win, quite solid, very cautious. I noticed that you didn't mess up this cut and keep it clean. So enjoy the review and keep on winning.